Yes, like 10 years ago.
Maybe we'll just set this up real quick. Hey guys,
Yeah.
Vinny here, co-founder AlphaKek AI, dialing in from San Jose, California. It's a sunny day in Bay Area, but actually very chilly still. It's like a late winter, I guess. It's actually my stomping grounds. This is where I grew up, so it's been great to come back and see old family and friends and business partners and attend this conference. Vladimir just disappeared. So yeah, this is AMA number 11. We can debrief on NVIDIA, some of the insights that we've gained, and a quick development update. I mean, there's just a lot of things happening behind the scenes as well on the product side, B2B especially. And we were just talking about, Vladimir, you mentioned something about NVIDIA 10 years ago. Can't hear you. Vladimir, you're mute.
Oops. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so 10 years ago, NVIDIA GTC was just about like computer game and nothing else. Just a little bit of like some computer simulation, like aerodynamics for Mercedes cars or something like this, some like very niche. Then we had like robotics, then we had like more and more AI, and now GTC is such a mainstream thing. So you have Jim Cramer booth.
Yeah, on the floor. Yeah, it was a trip to walk around, and then he had his like Mad Money studio like right on the GTC floor next to the main GPU showcase. But yeah, it was a very big surprise to see how much of GTC was robotics, physical AI, GPU compute. Well, obviously it's called GPU Technology Conference, but automotive, and surprisingly, AI applications and AI agents were like relegated to the smaller exhibition hall. But in the main exhibition hall, you had mostly, well, in general, it was mostly like a big tech event, and some startups and every big tech company who had a big booth in the main exhibition hall. Really lavish, like high budget booths. Like they were bringing in like huge cooling machines, these huge rigs, servers, like extremely high effort, expensive stuff. But they all had their own like GPU showcase, so they had their own like custom server setups and hardware. And the main thing they were selling was inference and cloud computing. Physical hardware, inference, and cloud. I would say were the top like dominant like flagship products, followed by like robotics, automotive, and then like finally like applications. Where should we take this like from the top? The format, there's a distinct difference between GTC and like a crypto conference. I was surprised how relaxed and like down to earth it was. The people were just, I feel like people were very serious about building and development, not much around like marketing. It was extremely like educational, very informational, I would say. And there's just a stark contrast after going to all these like crypto conferences, Token 2049 and Consensus. And so going to these crypto conferences, you just realize how much marketing and narrative is important in the crypto space. Whereas like these mainstream tech conferences, it's like the details, like how things are built versus like why they're built, and like what it is. So that was like very eye-opening, and I think that actually plays to our strengths because maybe we're the only company in crypto that's built a custom knowledge graph, at least that's offering it right to the industry, to different projects and ecosystems. But even there, like during the presentation on the first night, so the presentation was during the kickoff event. I would say it was the evening before the main, like before Jensen's keynote, and there was probably about 1,000 people, coming in and out of the Civic Center, and it was it was very down to earth. People were walking around, and they were asking a lot of questions about how things are built, and even then there's, I would say, a big interest in knowledge graphs in general. And I think because RAGs are like easier to build out. I saw a lot of RAG discussions, a lot of RAG offerings, like IBM, did a presentation about enterprise RAG. So, Vladimir, why do you think RAG is more popular? Like, can we give a quick breakdown of how knowledge graphs are different than RAG? Is it an alternative? Is it better? How is it different? And why do you think there was so much more demand for, knowledge graphs? Just organic interest.
Yeah, I think like RAG is simpler. It's cheaper, first of all. So like you save a lot of time like on inference because like you don't need any. So like the only pre-processing you do is like taking documents and like chunking them into pieces.
Okay, actually, what is RAG? Let's start from the basics first. Retrieval augmented generation.
Yeah. So like there is like another. So we can like approach this from multiple angles. RAG was originally proposed in a paper by Facebook, I think, Meta AI. The idea is like simple. You have like some kind of knowledge base, like some amount of documents, and what you do is like you chunk those documents into like pieces. So like first page, like second page, like second document, first page, etc., etc. And then you compute like semantic embeddings for each chunk. Then whenever user asks a question or whatever, you like you run like a semantic search and try to find what like relevant chunks of relevant chunks in your database and like feed them into context of the conversation to them and let them answer the question. And it's basically the easiest way to feed the context. And like it's also like cheap because like pre-processing is extremely cheap. Running into like a runtime, it adds just a little bit of context. So it's just like very, very simple.
Is it a fair analogy to say, like, imagine like a giant library and there's like a librarian and all the books are organized by category. And as you accumulate more data, you just add more books into the shelves. And the librarian has to like organize these books in the right place. And that takes time sometimes. And then when you retrieve it, you have to find all the relevant books based on your particular topic. But then, what if there's just like a lot of influx of books? Like, can that librarian keep up? Will that librarian forget certain books when retrieving the books? Is there redundancy in the topics and content of these books? So you can start seeing this becoming a lot more, I don't want to say unstable, but like overwhelmed.
It's both like unstable and it's like missing context. So like if your knowledge is like relatively simple, there are like not a lot of data sources, etc. It's probably like a good solution. If you have like a lot of data and this data has been like continuously updated, etc., like RAG like quickly becomes like not the best thing. And I think as many things in AI and in crypto too, it's just like the moment you have solution that works, people just start mindlessly copying it without any like trying to give it an extra thought and improve. So we have like quite a lot of examples like this, and I think like that's one of them. So they like achieve this stuff that works, and then instead of like inventing something new, they
to follow that analogy, I guess a knowledge graph is instead of books just being added en masse, books in the library, the existing books are rewritten as new information comes in and updated to new versions, for example. So they're constantly being updated, and that's more future proof. Would you add anything else to that analogy?
Yeah, I think I would tweak like your original analogy actually. So, for example, I think like it's not about librarian like searching books. It's about actually like librarian removing pages from each book and then like making stacks of pages basically. So like let's say you have 100 book and you have like here you put all the pages about I don't know. For simplicity, let's say we have fantasy books only, and you have like one piece where you only have pages from all those books where like orcs are mentioned, and another one where like elves are mentioned, another piece where like only food is mentioned, etc. And if you like try to ask the LLM something, it will have this knowledge about some fantasy books and food, but like it won't be able to like understand the full context of the book, like why is it there. So yeah,
Okay.
but it's also like, yeah, so it's so complicated. And yeah, like knowledge graph is great when you have really like specific domain, like crypto, for example, in our case. When you have like continuously updating sources, so you need to keep track of the updating knowledge. If you have like a lot of data sources about the same thing, and you need like to figure out, so like they are always like, you have like 5 data sources about like selling ETFs, for example, but like none of those data sources conveys like 100% of information. You have like, so you need like to combine all those pieces together to get the whole picture. Yeah, in these cases, knowledge graphs is the way to go. And you mentioned, yeah, like interesting stuff that are like people from Web2 industry that are who are actually like interested in this. It's like banking sector,
Yeah.
healthcare.
Well, first of all, the attendance was almost all Web2, and the companies there, booths, making speeches. There was almost little to no crypto discussions, digital assets, the industry. I get the opinion. I have a feeling that it's just, even crypto, as big as it is now, is still more of like a more niche market for them. It's like higher hanging fruit. They're going for like mainstream, verticals, healthcare, banking, personal, finance, automotive, robotics. Actually, the inquiries that we were getting, people that just walked up to me asking for like custom knowledge graphs, right? How to implement the system into their own proprietary information. Mostly banking and healthcare. And I was wondering, what is it about these two industries? Are they similar, like in terms of their data structure, in terms of the wide breadth of the types of data that they're aggregating and synthesizing? I wonder if these two industries are actually like similar in that sense. For healthcare, I think it was more like hospitals have a lot of data about patients, a lot of real-time data as well, that can trigger certain alerts, right? These are, I guess, like alpha alerts, and that would inform the hospital staff when to, move patients around between different rooms, or trigger certain, healthcare decisions. Like, why do you think both of these industries were at the top of the list in terms of interest?
I think it's the same as crypto. That's like one of the things that I haven't mentioned, like in my previous phases. So like aside of data being like scattered across multiple data sources and being continuously updated, which is true for both like crypto, healthcare, and banking. There's like one more important thing is, since we like put more compute, more like reasoning into like processing all this data, the data itself should be also like high stakes. So it should pay off to do extra processing, extra reasoning, all this data. And I think also like obviously crypto, like banking and healthcare, they are all like high stakes. I think crypto is high stakes in this regard. That's like why we are like starting with like in crypto, not in healthcare industry. But yeah, I guess like if you can get some kind of like additional insights about like your patients, or how to like optimize processes in like medical facilities, etc. Of course, there's also like a really high stake stuff that like can bring a lot of value. Probably.
Yeah, they're both high stakes. Yeah, they're both high stakes in different ways, right? It's like crypto is like financially, and healthcare is obviously health. Would you rather cure your disease or get 100x? It's a tough question, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the same thing if you think about it.
And do you think there's a reason for the timing of this interest in knowledge graphs? Is it a relatively new meta or new innovation? Is it something that there's a gap in like Web 2 providers? I mean, I know there's I know RAG graph has been discussed a lot. I see that online a lot, but I think that's a combination of both technologies. But yeah, I was wondering what the timing was, because it seemed like people weren't adopting it yet, or they had interest in doing it.
Yeah, I think there are like multiple reasons. Like first one is just like computer is getting a little like cheaper. It's like you as AlphaCAC users, you probably like witnessed it like firsthand that like the very first version of like AlphaCAC reports back in 2023 was taking more than an hour to reply. And now you have like Ask2 that does the same thing like less than a minute, and it uses like even more data sources. So like computers getting cheaper, and like models are not growing as much, because like if you remember like the very first like not the very first, sorry. So GPT-2 was like the biggest one, was about 1 billion parameters, I believe. And GPT-3, which was never open sourced, it was like 175. So it was like almost 200 times bigger. And then we had GPT-4, which is like, we still don't know the architecture, but it was about 10 times bigger than that. Well, the idea is that like, when it was like, the idea is that like we had this sudden growth in like size of the models, and disregard GPT 4.5 and like all three, which are like crazy expensive and no one like has anything even close like that. Aside from that, everything that was released since then is like about the same size in terms of like compute. It's like all models. So we had this like huge growth up to GPT-4, and since GPT-4 is kind of like the same thing. So like all those like llamas, Quens, DeepSeeks, etc. They are all in the same size range. So like up to like, yeah, if you like disregard GPT 4.5 just for a moment, if you like don't take it into account, if you take a look just at the previous like how much 2 years around the time moves so quickly, so I just like kind of lost track of it. So like, yeah, if you'll take a look at the last like 2 years and a half, a lot of effort was put into like optimizing models and like optimizing data, instructions, like reasoning stuff, etc. But like the model size, the boundaries, like upper lower boundary, they stay the same for 2.5 years. And of course, that's like 2.5 years in terms of software optimization. Hardware optimization is a lot. So we're getting like smarter models that consuming the same compute, but like compute get cheaper because we have those like fancy new GPUs. We have like better optimized software, etc. We have like models trained on higher quality data. You have competition because it's not just GPT-4 anymore. You have a bunch of cloud providers, and you have AlphaCAC with our like custom models that you can use. So like the whole thing is getting more accessible, and now you can like spend more time on like reasoning, performing compute. At the same time, I guess like people just, so like for us, I mean like the very first version of AlphaCAC was made by the time that I already spent like a couple of years building similar systems. So like it wasn't novel to me, but at the same time, I guess like a lot of people who just started doing this like for the first time, of course, like it's very logical thing to start with RAG with a very simple solution, like slowly build up from this point. And I guess they just like hit the wall of limitations that RAG can like provide to them. So you cannot add any more data, and like you cannot like update data faster than we are doing right now, etc. So like now we need like to move to something like conceptually different to keep improving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's switch to the business reasons why we were at GTC. I guess being there, we are kind of refining like why we were there, because there is a gap in crypto exposure and presence. I think it's important for us to take the best from Web 2 and like bridge it to Web 3, and we saw a lot of really interesting
and vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah. So I think we're in a good position to be that bridge, because we have a lot of these deep relationships with crypto, Web3 partners, and we have boots on the ground, right? We see where the gaps are, and yet at the same time, these companies, I get the feeling from them that they just don't have the bandwidth to understand this industry. this crypto, the crypto industry. I asked almost everybody, why not open up, why not go to market in this industry? And it's almost like they didn't even consider it yet. It's like, there's the obvious industries that they're in, but they just didn't have a plan, or they didn't consider it yet, or they just don't understand it. I think the first business reason is to be a bridge, to take the best and vice versa. The second reason is we want to keep upgrading our servers, right, our infrastructure. And we met some NVIDIA staff that we befriended, and there are potentially some good benefits, discounts, access to hardware, which will help a lot. So we're continuing to upgrade our infrastructure. Third reason is we had some important meetings. This is not, I guess this is partly public, but we are co-building something with Virtuals. So we met with the Virtuals team, or at least some of them. They have some US team, some of their dev relations team from Asia. So that's been going pretty well. And anything you want to add to that, Vladimir?
Well, of course, let's be honest. It's like a lot of just like getting validation in eyes of everyone. So if there are like only two crypto projects at the whole like NVIDIA GTC, and we were like one of them, of course, I think that matters something. And like one thing that we can like, yes, like the second project is Near AI, and actually, I think that's not a secret. Actually, we had some folks from Near AI reaching out to us this week, because they say that like we were searching any other crypto projects at NVIDIA GTC aside from us, and turned out like Near and Alpha are the only two. So that's how they're like.
There's like a third, but that wasn't really. It was Akash Network, but it was like their GPU division, and they had like a sponsored booth, and they were selling.
I mean, like as someone who's like presenting,
right? Taking part in it. I heard there were like a few like OKX guys walking around, but that's literally about it. Us and So I think we got a lot of great content, which will trickle out over the next few weeks, and it's opened up a lot of doors. But validation is important because now you can see like it's real, like it's real for a lot of people now that we're doing a lot more IRL activities and doxing ourselves.
I think also like the next big event is Token 2049 in Dubai. We'll be there as well in 6 weeks, 5.5. Last year there was a flood. Let's see about like this time. To be honest, I wouldn't mind some rainy weather, because like we miss this stuff in Cyprus. But let's see.
Cool. All right, I guess we should switch to more development updates. Maybe we can. I want to kick off an update on Pudgy AI. We didn't really talk too much about it, but we did publish a relatively long article, and that was intentional because we wanted to explain and frame how we're shifting or evolving from creating individual custom AI models for individual projects to like entire ecosystems, because it fully leverages both the meme gen side and our data integrations and our knowledge engine, right, for these ecosystems. We published an article about Pudgy AI. We're going to highlight all the individual applications and bots. For example, the meme generator. It's being currently used in Pengu Army, which is their main Pengu Telegram group, and they're expanding that. So there's like a long list of official groups all over Asia. I think some in Europe, but there's probably like 10 Telegram groups that are more like regional. So they're in the process of adding the bot to that. And the way that the article is framed is you have their data, right? At the top of the diagram, they have Pudgy related data. They have abstract chain related data. The NFT, Pengu. You have our fractal data that we're ingesting, a lot of data every single day that is contextualizing that data, and then you have their data set of memes, and that all gets contextualized into the Pudgy knowledge engine, which is not like a separate deployment of Fractal, but whenever we work with new ecosystems, we're utilizing Fractal and we're growing that knowledge base bigger and bigger. Vladimir, is there an instance where we would have a custom deployment of Fractal, or are we focused on growing it and segmenting that data downstream for that particular topic or particular ecosystem?
I guess it depends on how close to crypto will it be. It's like right now we have like one tiny experiment where like it's like not available publicly, but basically another like tiny knowledge graph, not about like crypto at all. So you'll just remember the one that we made in Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we are just like experimenting a little bit with this. And let's see how it goes. I guess it all depends on like whether the new use case marks all the check marks that we discussed previously. When you have a bunch of overlapping docs data sources, when data sources are being like continuously updated, when like the information of those data sources is high stakes, etc., etc.
Okay. Yeah, just continue.
But I guess in terms of splitting or splitting, it's always like the same stuff. If it's about crypto, we'll like add it to crypto. If it's like about something like completely different, like food commodities or like horoscopes or whatever else, then probably it will be like a separate thing.
Okay. Yeah. So for these partner ecosystems, we have their particular data could be their news, context, lore, on and off chain transactions. Then we have our own data, real-time dynamic information. This goes into the knowledge engine, Fractal, and then this gets accessed by the custom model for that particular partner. And then you have the memes, right? So that also goes into a custom model as well. And that's distributed, all that data via the model is distributed into different, B2C products. Obviously, you had the Pudgy meme generator, which we will announce pretty soon. You have data analysis. So, we can activate, ask command, activate the other types of analysis. There is like one top secret B2C front end or application that we are working on with them. And then we're starting to activate 3D and video. In terms of like, B2B, the framing I think is quite helpful to these ecosystems because now they have these builder public goods, right? They have APIs that they can access. So, we are taking applications from the Pudgy ecosystems builders if they need access to the data side or the meme side because they want to build out their own applications, frameworks, right? Chatbots, whatever front end. That's they are applying to us and Pudgy to get access to that, and we'll work out how to distribute that in the best way. And I think it opens up a lot of like co-marketing opportunities as well. You can showcase all the memes that are generated. So there is like a meme showcase Telegram channel. We didn't build out an entire app so far, but it's a Telegram channel I think is really convenient. But there's ways to like gamify this like showcase wall. You can use emoji reacts. You can use commenting and create like leaderboards around like engagement of like who likes what memes better and who is generating the most memes, who's getting the most reactions. So there's different interesting like gamification you could do for meme gen. But it's getting a lot of great adoption. I think they've generated probably over 3,000 memes since the beginning of Pudgy AI. We're working on our third model, third version. So V1 came out back in October. And now that it's like public, we can actually discuss this a bit more. But we released V1 back in October. Then we took it into private beta to work on V2. per the request of Pudgy team. And yeah, we really nailed down a lot of the output and fidelity. It was a very iterative process. I mean, we went through so many different models, so many different submodels. And now if you look at the, Pengu Army Telegram group, the output, it's extremely, clean and, what's the word? Just very close to their original vision. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess like the key takeaway is that like we are like far from being done on this, and we have like some more advanced integration like in the process. And yeah, I guess like on virtuals we can't share much yet. Actually, I don't think we will even like chat about ACP. I'm not sure. So, like someone in the chat said they heard on AMA about virtuals and ACP, but it wasn't me, right? It was someone else. So
we didn't announce ACP
yet. Okay. Probably it was someone from the virtual side. But I guess like since like word is out, so we can say this. Yeah, I guess that we are not gonna share a lot of stuff publicly yet. One hint that we can like drop for sure is that like if you take a look at Virtual's website, right now they're running a hackathon, and hackathon is ending exactly in 1 month on 21st of April. And I guess just like keep a look at what's happening in the hackathon, and especially what will happen on 21st of April. That's like everything I can say for now, but probably like on the next day, maybe we'll be able to share more. And there was something else that I want to say, but I forgot. Well, of course, we can say that like we are like upgrading our like infrastructure a lot. So we already like in previous week we like upgraded our like both like servers and like server code, both like hardware and software. So like in some cases it like brought up to like plus 500% performance improvement, and I was like, it was like crazy because like I didn't think it was possible. And right now we are like working on the next upgrade. It's a little squeeze, like extra 20-25%. And the idea is that like a couple of reasons why we are doing this. Like one is just like to unlock more compute intensive use cases like tools, etc. That like right now, if you would use it as like an optimized code, it would be like just unbearable to use. Second is just to try the whole stuff, like bring more fun. Because like of course if your like tool AI whatever works quickly, it's just like more fun and you can like iterate more.
The reasons that partners, that really helps them, and more fun for them generates more users, and it improves our flywheel, right? So I mean we can deliver more things faster, more models faster, more interest. And that goes more towards bot users, creates more token holders, which leads to, bigger buybacks, less supply, more token exposures. The flywheel goes around and around because it's being powered by, all this compute. So the more compute, the more models that we can create, which opens up new markets, new communities, and just contributes towards the community.
Yeah, and like we are working more like completely new kinds of like use cases for the tech we have. Yeah, but I guess you'll just see it very, very soon. Some of it hopefully like next week already.
Mm-hmm. All right, maybe we should take some questions because I got to cut this short. I got to dash out pretty soon. It's the last day of GTC, and we can open up the floor to questions.
Yeah, or just saw the compilation of Jensen saying scale up during his like keynote on the once. It's like scale up, scale out, scale up, scale out, etc. It's like very.
All right. Any questions? What's on our agenda here? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening, but I'm not sure if we can discuss a lot of this stuff. Do we want to give a preview of the presentation? Nah, it's probably too granular. They'll see it anyways.
You mean NVIDIA one?
Yeah, they'll see it when it's posted.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it available already? I think for online users, it's already available or not. Need
Is it
to check
available?
actually. Yeah, I think we can like.
Tell. Yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, I guess we can check. But yeah, it will be available soon. I guess we can like have a separate separate AMA or session or video about this. So we have playlist for NVIDIA 2024, 2025, and GTC.
Yeah, maybe we can end with like a preview of the big catalysts coming up. I think the key themes are like major ecosystem partnerships, integrations.
Yeah.
Bigger models for well-known IP. Convergence of data and memes, which is becoming a bigger theme, like contextualizing memes. That makes us actually very unique, the feedback that we got. Meme gen is actually a very big differentiator for us. Also, what else could they expect?
Yeah, that's kind of funny because like it was expected to be like, it's like sidekick stuff that we made simply because like we have experience in building this. Turns out that like I guess we'll add like more video generation stuff, more multimodality. We are like we are working on more like data analysis as well, and probably we'll have like more tools related on this, more partnerships. But yeah, I guess it's more about the general stuff is first is like on a big picture. I think we can call like 3 items. So like one is just like combining like alpha and CAC, merging it together into like one like AI-driven entity that like understands both crypto markets and humor and memes. Second, like integrating into like all the possible like ecosystems, frameworks, etc. And third is like making sure that like everything AI related we do is like tokenized and basically like the part of on-chain economy.
Yeah, actually, part of a subset of that is actually improving the token. So we're going to be rolling out some updates that will focus on improving the token. In terms of friction, in terms of exposure. Yeah, you guys will see these updates coming up. There's like several of them, and they're all kind of interrelated. So now that this big milestone has been achieved in terms of like mainstream adoption and NVIDIA, we're going to shift back to marketing, token, bigger partnerships. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and preparing for NVIDIA 2026 GTC.
And 27 as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
but 27 we should have our own event
conference.
Already. Yeah. Alpha Cake Developer Conference.
What is that? ADC?
Yeah.
This is this same week we have GDC, which is the Gaming Developer Conference, which is at the same time. It's interesting. It's funny they named it so similarly, GTC and GDC.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of friends that are going there. Equally as nerdy.
Yeah, I mean like games and crypto are like somehow similar, I guess, in terms of both being low friction, high dopamine, high like very crunchy in terms of work, everything.
Yeah. All right, guys. Oh yeah, it's my host's cat.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head out. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks for joining in, guys. Actually, let's allow some questions in case there are any questions, guys. Oh, sorry, Murat had a question. Murat, did you have a question?
Yeah, you should click allow to speak. Yeah, you should be able to turn on the mic.
Yeah, you can speak now.
Yeah.
Anybody who has any questions, you can type it in or.
Hello, have a good night.
Hello.
All right. Good night, Murat. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything, guys.
Yeah, just let me know if you have questions. See ya. Let's follow up in the chat.
All right, see you. All right, later.